Hey, what's up, guys? So I have a special guest today, someone who I've been wanting to talk to for a while, ever since I read her book, and I did a review on it on this channel, and it's Kezia Noble, and she's actually a dating coach for guys. But she's not a guy, which is kind of rare in I think in the industry, and that's why when I read her book, I really appreciated her perspective. A lot of the content from there I've talked to you guys about. So really cool. So thanks for joining me, Kezia.
Thank you for having me.
So the first thing I think anyone would ask is why? Like, what is your background? Like, who are you? Like, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's anyone else that's really doing what you're doing that's female. So why?
Well, is this a way of asking me how did I get into this profession?
Exactly.
Okay, so this started back in 2006. So I have been doing this for well over a decade. I have definitely earned my stripes.
There we go.
I was headhunted. Simple as that, I was headhunted. There was a guy. He approached me in a bar. He'd seen me a few times. He liked my kind of like very honest, direct kind of way of talking to people. And he told me that he was a pickup artist and that he runs something called boot camps, which help guys become more attractive to women. And he was looking for some really honest female feedback for their clients at the boot camp. So I went along, and two things that I noticed at this boot camp. The first one was that you really can teach guys how to become better at women, because I went into this as a complete skeptic. I was like, look, chemistry, it's there or it's not. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay, you can't manipulate the situation. But I was proved wrong. I mean, I literally saw guys within the space of like a few hours go from pumpkins to princes. The second thing I noticed was there was no honest female feedback. Okay, there were other girls there, but they were giving that same kind of wishy-washy advice that, girls give their male friends, like, oh, just smile more, be more confident, just be that nice guy. And I was thinking, oh, I don't think so. So I just gave all the guys my feedback. I was like, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing right, and like their minds were fucking blown because I was saying stuff that was really unorthodox. Like, right. I was saying, like, when you go back to your normal day lives and you leave this boot camp, you must tell all your female friends that are trying to hook you up with girls to tell the girls, don't trust him. Don't trust him.
Yeah.
That's counterproductive. I don't know, because your sweet female friends are right now saying, he's such a nice guy. And
right.
that sends alarm bells ringing, okay, for girls. And my job, by the way, is to decrypt female utter madness to men. I'm there to decrypt it and make sense of it so they know what to do. So, I, got my coat. I was about to leave. I was expecting, like, pitchforks and everything. But actually, the guys were like, I want to book Kezia for private one-on-one, lessons. And the guy who ran this company, he said, would you like to come on board? And I was like, sounds a bit strange, this whole thing, but I kind of like it because I'm just a very direct, honest person, and I like being that person. I don't, I like the fact that people are paying me to be myself, essentially, and do something I love, rather than having to bite my tongue and, say nice things to people all the time to make them feel temporarily better. Anyway, so I worked for this company for a few years. I learned a lot, and I think they learned a lot from me. And on the side, I set up my own YouTube channel, and that got a lot of interest and got a lot of views. And a publishing company based here in Britain contacted me and said, would you like to write a book? And I went, yeah, hell yeah, I'm an opportunist, of course.
Right.
And I wrote the book. It was a huge success, and I sort of like used that to springboard my own company, and the rest is history.
Okay. I have to ask you now. So when you started this new profession, right? where were you working before? Because I'm curious, did you walk into your boss's office and say, you know what, I'm quitting, and then he's like, oh, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm going to teach guys how to pick up girls. Like,
you know something? I wish I could tell you something so interesting like that. Like, I left the circus and I became. No, it was very prosaic. I worked for my father's company.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was a bit boring. Good money, but boring. So this is something I really wanted to get my teeth into. So it was, my parents, my father knows I'm an opportunist, and I'm very someone that dances to their own beat. I'm not a conformist. So he got it why I wanted to do something like this. And everyone thought it was pie in the sky. They're like, right. We're teaching guys what? I'm like, don't worry about it. Just watch me. Just watch me. And when I started going on TV and I, started running courses across the world, and I had a team of like 30 people under me, suddenly everyone was like, oh, I see why you did that now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool though. That's interesting. And it's good to, that you're willing to take that risk. It's a big jump to become an entrepreneur, to especially do something that you don't know if it's going to work out. Now when you, I guess one of the questions that I always wonder too is like you said that a lot of the other girls, when you were kind of picked for this, they didn't give honest feedback. They're giving that kind of wishy-washy kind of general advice. Now, I found a lot of guys have said, oh, well, girls are really opposed to this. Like, I kind of have seen this where a lot of women do not like the idea that guys are learning how to, and it's not like, I don't know. I guess that they're learning to improve themselves, to become more confident, to to display. I think I saw you say before, or heard you say, marketing yourself, which I love that term as well. But why do you think this is a good idea? Like, why are you in support of this? Whereas a lot of women would be like, oh no, this is bad. Like, we don't want guys to learn this. They should just have it. Otherwise, they're tricking us.
But it's okay for women to trick men. That's the double standards I can't live with, because women are constantly tricking men. They wear makeup when they go out. They don't look like that. The whole thing. Women are as manipulative as men, but it's for different. There's different motives. So a guy might be quite manipulative to sleep with a woman, but a woman would be manipulative to get the guy into a relationship, or to get the guy to marry them, which actually has a lot more long-term repercussions. People are manipulative. Human beings are manipulative. We have agendas, okay? Wake up, guys. Get used to it. That's life, okay?
Right.
So that's one point. The second point is that I'm sick of women saying there are no decent guys out there. They're always moaning, going, guys don't know how to talk to me. They don't understand me. They don't know how to excite me, and I agree. There is a lack of that. But what I'm doing is I'm showing these guys who have the potential to do all those things, to tick all those boxes that women are looking for. So it's kind of strange why women are sitting there complaining, and then someone comes along going, "Look, there are great guys out there. They just don't know how the fuck to speak to you. That's all, because no one's taught them, apart from their stupid female friends who keep saying, be nice." Be nice all the time. It's just generic, of course. So is it better that they come to a woman who's going to teach them how to speak, how to talk to women, how to communicate, how to make impact, how to go for the kiss with confidence? Is it better they come to me rather than, going to some dodgy guy who's like, just set up a website, doesn't know what he's talking about, and just making them come across really creepy and strange? So when women do challenge me on this, I've got the answers, and a lot of them actually at the end of it are like, oh yes, that makes a lot of sense, and well done, you're doing something about it. I think it's just because the first thing, like all manipulation techniques, and people get freaked out about it, and then they've made their decision, they can't think beyond that. But when you sit down and you actually speak to them and you logicalize it, then I think most of the time, most women that I've encountered said, oh, actually, no, you are doing a good thing. Keep up the good work.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, especially when you describe it in terms of like the makeup, and it's almost like you're teaching like a woman that has no idea how to put on makeup and how to carry herself and how to to get all dressed up and look her best. Like it's the same kind of thing there, which makes a lot of sense. And I've always agreed with that. And I think a lot of it is just learning what you already have to be able to put your best foot forward. I think a lot of guys too in society today, right? It's very much to be masculine and to go go for what you want, and to be out there is sort of, it's almost shamed. And so a lot of guys have that attribute, they just have never expressed it. And so when they unleash that, it's not really being inauthentic, in my opinion. It's they're learning who they really are and to be themselves. That's the true self.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to my clients, look, you're the product and you're marketing your, the most valuable product, which is yourself. So I sit down with them and say, look, what are your 3 selling points? I mean, like, let's take the gloves off here and just speak to each other. What are your 3 selling points? What are you bringing to the table? I'll say to them. And often they go, I don't know. They know all their sticking points, but they don't know what their selling points are. And I said, well, that's already a bad start. If I'm trying to sell something to someone and I don't know anything about that product, I'm not going to sell it. I can be as enthusiastic as I want. If I don't have facts of why this product is better than that product, or why this product should be in somebody's life, I can't sell it. Right. So I sit down with them, and eventually they come up with 3 things which they think are their attributes, their selling points. I'm like, right, let's get those attributes out there. Let's convey them as soon as possible. Because, guys, time is not on your side. When you're to a girl, even if you're a very, very hot guy, and even if you're exactly her physical type, you still have about 5 or 10 minutes. So a lot of guys, what they do is they will they'll think, oh, I've got a lot of time. I'm going to show her this really, really attractive side to me, later on. Not quite now. I'm like, but she's already sort of mentally shut down by then. She's like, okay, bored. And I know guys who are going to be watching this are going to be like, oh, who do women think they are? It's not about that. I wish it was a different reality we were living in, but this is reality. That's the thing. So a lot of guys, when I talk to them and say, women are making decisions like that, are you boring them? What are you bringing to the table? Are you worth my time? It sounds harsh. It is harsh, but that's reality. So if you say, well, I don't care, I don't want that kind of girl, I want a nice girl, good luck. Good luck. Because even the very nice, polite ones who've got a big smile on their face are still in the back of their head thinking, how much longer do I have to talk to this guy? So it's the guy's job to make strong impact. Now, if he says, well, no, it's the girl's job also, yes, of course it is, but why should she even be trying if she's not interested? Believe me, if she's interested, she'll be, doing her damn best to make sure that you like her. So it's down to the guys, if they're approaching her anyhow, to show the girl, convey those qualities, rather than hiding them behind a wall of nerves.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Especially, I like what you said about the idea that it's attraction is not a choice. It's the reality. And it's like, I argue all the time with guys that I'm coaching or on my channel that you have to just face reality. Like, you may want something to be different, but it doesn't matter. It's like, the game is this, and you can either play by the rules of the game and learn how to master that game, or you can try and opt out, but the game is going to be played either way, and you're not changing reality. You can be angry and upset, and there's a lot of, I was going to ask you about this too. I don't know if you've heard of the incel movement and the whole thing that it's involuntary celibacy. There's like this whole kind of group of guys, and they're angry. They're angry at the world. They're angry at society. They want laws and rules to be made in order to make it so that guys that are losers can get married, and they want all these things because they feel like it's unfair. And and in my opinion, it's like, maybe it's unfair, but it doesn't matter. It's reality. Like, you're gonna have to adapt.
Exactly. So let's look at the unfair reality of women. Women get older. Women will lose their looks. Okay.
Right.
It's that some women become more. They go for like a sort of a peak in their 40s where they suddenly become strangely more attractive. I have heard of that, but the majority of women will kind of like hit 32 and then it will start to, I'm not saying it'll be ugly, but it will be a less obviously appealing look they'll possess. And some guys will like it, guys who like older women, but on the whole, their value will drop.
Right.
And you know what? Women have to get on with it. So what do women do? So they might invest in cosmetics more, they might have some surgery, but there's a limit to that. So what they have to do is they have to start working on refining that personality. They have to. I learned a lot. I used to take my clients to strip clubs.
Okay.
Because a lot of them wanted to know how to game strippers. And there's a technique to it. And I say, watch these strippers, watch them, they're brilliant. I said, which one here, I always say, which one here do you think is making all the money? And they immediately point to the most beautiful stripper.
Right, that's not it.
Nope. And they look and they go, no, not her. She's like, she looks like an Oompa Loompa, no way. And I'd be like, you watch her clean up. You watch her clean up. And she'd clean up, and the beautiful one would get a few dances because she was exceptionally beautiful, but she had no game, she had no chat, she had no bands, and the other one was like a little terrier. She was going in there, she was making guys laugh, and literally the guys, when she approached them, they were just like, yeah, okay, what do you got? Because, it wasn't that great, but then she had so much game, she would just literally extract money from them, and the guys would be like, these guys would just be like happy to give her money. And I said, this is a woman. This is exactly what I mean. This woman has understood the game. She's realised that she's never going to be beautiful like those other girls. That's it. So what she's done is she's refined her game, her banter. And that's what women, when they get to a certain age, realise, okay, shit, I've got to really work on being very maybe sexual, very seductive. I've just got to find a different angle. So men and women are both kind of, they've got their limitations, and they will get to a point in their life where, women will face a reality, which men, when they get older, I mean, they can look a lot better. It's not a big deal, not like it is for women. So I think men need to, these guys that you're specifically talking about, need to realise that we're all in the same fucking boat in one way or another.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. That's a really good way of putting it, because I think, if the Oompa Loompa stripper can use game and make herself attractive to guys that have specifically come to a place to look at hot women, right? If she can do it, then why that and guys are more visual, right? In general, then for guys to make the argument to say that, oh, I'm just short and I'm not good looking and I'll never be. And so, and all these girls only like guys that are good looking. It's just based on that. It seems kind of crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like for you to show it on that side, it seems like for a guy to try to make the argument that he's just, it's hopeless and he doesn't, that game doesn't matter, seems almost ridiculous to me.
That's it. So the second issue is they say, you know what, look at these beautiful women, I don't stand a chance, I'm going home, there's no point. So yeah, I definitely say to people, look, if there's a problem, it can be fixed. Like, I've seen people on my mastery course, they've come in wheelchairs. We had one guy, and these testimonials are on YouTube, by the way. This is not me just talking shit. They're on there. I had one guy who's blind, like,
wow.
Yeah, can't see anything. And he got results. I mean, these people had proper excuses. I mean, you could just look and say, shit, you've got an excuse. And they didn't let it stop them. So when I hear guys going, oh, I'm misunderstood, or I'm too much of a nice guy, that's my problem, fuck women. I'm like, shit, have you seen these guys that have come to us? Wheelchairs, blind, had guys with disabilities, which are hard to explain, but they're very noticeable. Like,
right.
Like really extreme twitches and things like that. These are things that are really limiting. And they haven't used it as an excuse. So these guys saying, oh, I'm just too nice, that's my excuse for not trying. Seriously, please. It's kind of funny too. There's a lot of times the guys that say that I'm just too nice and are complaining about how everyone else is an asshole. And I only see them being assholes because when I go and hang out with they're like, oh, the people at the clubs and the cool people, they're all assholes and they're just those are the nice welcoming people. When I mean they're like, I've never
You know what I mean? But it's always like the people that are saying they're so nice that seem to be the most like judging of other people,
It's a
which
negative,
is
it's a
yeah,
negative feedback loop, and they're stuck in it. They like
yeah,
moaning, they like whining to each other and moaning, and it is moaning and complaining is actually quite addictive. It's addictive, and you can get very caught up in it. But unfortunately, it's not like complaining about traffic or complaining about the weather. You know, it's not something which is really going to ruin your life to complain about that one topic. But when you're complaining about women or something which is very, or men or whatever, something that's very significant, something that's a very important part of your life, that's when I believe it becomes quite pernicious.
right, right. And it makes sense what you said about just all these guys that have these actual issues, real issues, and they're still doing something. They're still, because ultimately, I mean, you can say it's unfair, and you've got what you've been given, but you might as well enhance that as much as possible. You might as well take it to like as far as you can go, because that's otherwise your alternative is what? To just give up, just to say, and I think that's the thing that I think a lot of guys today have given up. They don't understand that there's something they're not maximizing what they have. They're just like, oh, well, I'm not a super good looking model, so I just give up.
This good looking thing really annoys me. So what I did is I started asking my good looking 7-day mastery students to do video testimonials, because everyone just kept saying, all you need is looks. That's it. A guy just needs to be 6'2". This is the big, this is apparently like the magic height is 6'2". And if you're 6'2", that's all that matters. So I got a couple of guys on who were very, very attractive guys. And they spoke about it. And they said, look, I have to come on the 7-day mastery program. Yes, I know I'm good looking, but I wasn't getting anywhere.
Right.
And I think it's people still, like, I've had blind people in wheelchairs. I've had guys who have come from all sorts of backgrounds. I've had good looking guys, black, white, Indian, Asian, everything. And some people just don't want to believe it. They're like, no, but there must have been something about him to have got those results. I'm like, he wouldn't have been on the 7-day mastery program if that had been the case.
Right. Well, and
they sort of make up their minds. That's it.
And it's kind of interesting too. I think that a lot of times, even a guy that's better looking he's got less time, right? It's almost like because his standard is higher, right? So like if a guy that is supposed to be that is physically attractive comes up and talks to a woman, she's going to judge him at a higher standard, whereas the guy that's kind of this short kind of, she doesn't have a high expectation of him, so it's going to be easier to impress.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's a little bit of that as well that I've seen.
I just know that women are less visually focused than men. They are. I mean, aesthetics are important, but it buys you a bit of time if you're a good-looking guy. But not just good-looking, but you happen to be their type. You could be a very good-looking guy, but if you're not the type, then she can't see it. But yeah, if you're really good-looking and you happen to be a type, sure, of course, you buy time. Yeah, she's going to overlook certain things. If you're a bit nervous, she's going to overlook that. Absolutely. But there's also this cut-off point. I know I've been chatted up by very, very good-looking guys, and I've been like very enthusiastic when they're talking to me at the beginning, and then I'm like, you know what, this is dry. I'm just not feeling it. And it bought them time, but it's not a guarantee.
Right.
And remember, I always say game outmatches type any day of the week. Strong game will outmatch type.
So talk to me more about that for everyone listening. What is the, why? What is the attribute? What is its, what's the compelling argument here for what game is and why it's so important in the grand scheme of things here? I don't know if I'd phrase that well, but.
I think I know what you mean. Game is basically about marketing for me.
Mm.
Okay, so you've got inner game, which I'm sure you've heard of, inner game. And a lot of people start an inner game, like how you feel about yourself, get that right, and then, the rest will kind of follow. I think that works with a very small percentage of people. I think most people, from my experience, most guys need to see the results before they can, the mental aspect can click. They need to have proof. They need to get into that positive feedback loop.
Right.
So I work on both, but I do personally believe that the working on the behavioural traits and the actions shape the beliefs ultimately. So I'll teach guys, for instance, approach anxiety.
Okay.
Anxiety is a huge one. So the three most common sticking points that guys come to me with is approach anxiety, running out of things to say too soon, and sexual escalation, flirting, taking it from platonic to something more flirtatious. But the interesting thing about approach anxiety is that people who are master conversationalists don't have approach anxiety. I find that very interesting. If someone knows, not believes, knows that they can go into nearly any interaction with anybody and make connection and make an impact, make them laugh and become their number one priority pretty quickly, they tend not to have approach anxiety because they already know that they can complete step B.
Right.
So a lot of people will focus on, let's get your mindset right, and then the approach anxiety will dilute, it will fade. But I don't. I say, no, let's work on step B. Let's focus on that so that when you do go in there, you're not going to be like, oh my God, what do I say? But you'll know exactly what to say and how to connect and make impact with her and make a strong impression. And that way, the approach anxiety becomes less severe. You can do some things to help approach anxiety. So you can, for instance, warm-up sets are good, sort of exposure-based therapy is good, like something silly, like going into the middle of a street and doing something stupid. That can sort of take the sting out of approach anxiety. So he's like, I've done that, so that's like that bad. And then talking to a girl is like this bad, it's not.
Right.
So yeah, there's little things like that we can do. It depends on the client, but I think the majority of it is showing the guy what to say next.
I love that. Yeah.
What if I run out of things to say? And it always ends up like that. Girls hardly ever go, oh, go away, you creep, just because you said hello. I mean, that's very rare, unless the guy is really acting very shady.
Yeah.
But usually it's just something so boring, as in he's just spoken to her for like 30, 40 seconds, and she's like, anyway, so nice meeting you, I've got to go. That's usually how it ends up. It's not a fuss.
Yeah.
It's not a slap round the face. It is just an excuse to sort of side shuffle out of the situation. Yeah. And that's why that's why I love helping guys, because I find that once they've got past that horrible transition from opener to full-blown conversation, once they've got past that and they can do it with ease, all the other stuff is very easy to implement. It's that one which is the bitch. That one is where men fall apart like a cheap suit, is that transition point.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that approach too. And then, by the way, I think a slap in the face would be preferable to the anyway. At least you're getting some kind of emotional reaction. Then that's better, right? You can recover from the slap in the face, but you can't recover from the anyway.
I got to get back to my friends. Anyway, nice to see you. It's like,
just slap me. Yeah, that doesn't make me that. Maybe that's the response. Why don't you just slap me one?
Yeah.
But
board off that or something. I can.
But no, I really like that idea. That idea of having the next step, and it's so true because I was just in Barcelona and I was with some friends, and it's one of those things where it's like if someone knows a little bit of Spanish, they're afraid to actually go somewhere and order something or like talk to the cashier because they know that they're going to be spoken to in Spanish.
They're Catalans. Right? Sorry, the people who live in Barcelona, they speak really funny about that. You have to call them or something. Yeah. I love Barcelona, by the way. It's one of my favourite cities. But I've had a lot of students from there, and they like to be called the Catalonians or Catalans. Catalonians, sorry.
Yeah, they speak Catalan, but someone who doesn't know it or doesn't know Spanish at all, a lot of times they're trepidatious to even just go and buy something at a store or order something because they don't know what they're going to say. They know they're right, and it's weird. It's like if someone's speaking English and we don't have any problem going up to cashier, right? But it's because I know what I'm going to say. I know how the transaction is going to go. I've done this 1,000 times before. Whereas someone's speaking a foreign language, now I'm nervous to actually do something that's a normal thing. It's just buying something.
So what happens to you? So when you go and you know a few phrases, you become awkward, you become nervous, and you go blank, and you think, I don't know how to say that in Spanish or French. I do know it, but because I'm so stressed out right now and nervous, I can't think of the word. And that's exactly what happens to guys when they talk to women. They're stressed out. They're stressed out and they're suffering from something called decision-making paralysis, which happens when you're stressed out. You just see blank. You think, I can't think of anything. I'm not this boring guy. I'm not this nervous guy, I promise, but I'm acting like this because it's a skill set that they don't possess yet to be able to just talk to a hot girl and make a strong impact. And it's just like, as you said, going in, ordering something in another language, even if you're quite familiar with that language, if you're not familiar enough, you will dry up. You will dry up.
Right. Exactly. So that's, I think it makes a lot of sense in that approach that you're taking for the approach anxiety. And I don't think I've heard people talk about that one before but there is one aspect of it, I think, that a lot of, I always get pushback on this, which is, I always just say, like, the fear is never going to go away. Like, no fear in your life does. You just have to someday figure out that you're just going to have to confront and face the fear. Like, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to sting. It's going to hurt. I think a lot of guys don't want to confront this. How do you get them to realize this, that, like, you're just going to have to, nothing, I mean, you can talk all you want and try to help someone, but ultimately they're going to have to take the leap. They're going to have to do the scary thing.
Yeah, well, that's why my courses are practical and theoretical. I would always say to guys to stay away from any kind of like seduction, attraction, dating program which doesn't give you a chance to go out there with your coach and actually put this stuff into practice. That's I explain to people, like, if you want to come on any of my courses, there is, we will do theory, of course we will. But you're going to have to go and go out there and actually put this stuff into practice live, with a coach, fine, with someone the whole time saying, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, this is what you should do next time, etc. But you are going to have to go out there into the thick of the battle and experience it, and experience pain and experience, because with, you experience pain, at some point you're going to experience, a fantastic sensation also, because if you think about it, anyone that puts themselves out there, and I don't mean just dating, but it could put themselves out there in terms of a business, an entrepreneur, as you mentioned earlier, becoming an entrepreneur, you're going to take a lot more rejections than the guy who sits in his office and he's got like that kind of stable job, or the guy that just says, I'm not going to talk to any girl. I'm just going to end up marrying one of the girls in my local town. Just that's how everyone else has done it. That's how I'm going to do it. Sure, those people are going to get less rejection, and they're probably going to feel a degree of less pain in some ways. But in the long run, they're going to have like a kind of unhappiness, like a very sort of long-lasting, depressive, sort of dull kind of unhappiness. Whereas people that go out there and they're actually dynamic. And they're sort of, they go through that pain, they go through a bit of that rejection. They'll find that when they have like the good responses, the positive responses, they will far outweigh those painful moments. I always take this example of Madonna. Like, if you read about Madonna, I mean, she had so many rejections at the beginning. I mean, people just didn't believe in her. Like, she had such self-belief, and she was so self-propelled. Whether you like Madonna or not, I mean, no one's going to argue the fact that she was a very dynamic, very focused, very ambitious woman. But, she didn't really make it till she was 26. And a lot of people were just like, saying, no, thank you, did not possess her level of self-belief. And I don't think now she's sitting there going, you know what, it wasn't worth it.
Right.
All that pain I went through, all those early years of rejections, I should have just stayed at home and become a secretary. You see what I mean? So all
exactly.
That's just like I'm giving you like a huge, a hugely dramatic example there. But if you take my 7-day mastery program students, none of them at the end of it, even though there are going to be times, of course, they get rejected on the course and they're out there, but none of them have said, it wasn't worth it. They always say it was totally worth it because of the amount that they got in the end. You know, the results that they generated overcompensated the few rejections they got.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I always relate it to like a black and white television versus color. It's like you can live your black and white television and you're not going to have very much pain and you're not going to have very much pleasure, I would say,
Yeah.
right? But if you want color, you're going to have the full spectrum, and there's going to be a lot more lows, like colors you don't like, but you'll also get the vibrant colors that you do like, but that's more of life. Like life is, the more color you have, the more you have.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Another thing that's important to remember is there's some people who want that black and white life. And I think that's fine. If you're somebody that's not even tempted to know what's behind the curtain, who doesn't believe that they deserve better, and you're kind of happy in your own ignorance and you're happy with that, then I don't touch those people. They look at me and think I'm probably totally like, what are you offering me here? They won't, I'm not on their frequency. They won't understand it. But if somebody has like a shred of doubt, like, this can't be my life. There's more to life than this. Or, I feel that I deserve something else. I think I deserve better. I feel that I could deserve better. Those are the people that I help.
Right. Yeah. And I think, deep down, most people really actually do that, do feel that way. They just don't. I think a lot of people don't think that it's possible. They don't think that they could possibly live the life. You know what I mean? I mean, even just some of the things like, even like you, as you were talking about that, I was thinking about just like being an entrepreneur and going out there. And it's like, even this, we're going to record this video. We're going to put it up on the channel. We're going to face people that are going to put nasty stuff in the comments, right? We're putting ourselves out there.
On. Doing the more you get, it's so good.
Yeah. But I think a lot of, and I think, I see a lot of people, see a lot of guys in my audience actually trying to avoid that. They want the result, but they want to go around it. They don't want to go through the pain to get there. So what they do, and I get emails from guys all the time, and they're like, here's my plan, John. Tell me if this is good. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm a software developer, so I'm going to get rich, and then I'm going to buy some nice cars, and then I'm going to go to the gym, and I'm going to lift weights, and I'm going to get in shape and get six-pack abs, and then after I have all that, then I won't even have to talk to girls. I'll just be able to get them. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, you're missing you're doing all this work to get what you think is going to happen just to avoid this little bit of pain, which will actually get you the result.
And not just that, those guys who, the moment that they say, I'm going to earn loads of money to get women, it means that they're going to end up being sponsors. That's what they're going to be.
Yes.
They're going to be sponsoring women's lifestyles for the rest of their life. And they'll be like, have you seen Tag the Sponsor? You look at that website, such a good website. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention websites.
Oh, no, it's fine, yeah.
Tag the Sponsor is basically, people basically send in, pictures of girls on Instagram. And they're like on these really they're in yachts, they're in private jets, and like, shit doesn't add up. How can you afford that? And everyone's like, where's your sponsor? Where's your sponsor? Can you imagine the guy, what he looks like? So they end up on this website called Tag the Sponsor, where they're like, shame these girls. So I just think when guys go, I'm going to earn loads of money so I can get women, I'm like, then you're going to essentially become a sponsor. Won't your mother be proud after that education she put you through, your parents put you through, to become another sponsor?
Yeah. No, that's true. Yes, yeah.
Because I've just mentioned Instagram. It's funny what you're saying, how on YouTube, you get a lot of hate. You get a lot of love, to be honest, but you get some hate. And I was thinking, the YouTubers are like the bravest ones on social media. And Instagram people, and I'm sure you're on Instagram, I'm not, but I'm talking about the ones that are only on Instagram, pussies. Well, they get that like button, you're a pussy, and you're living in a fake reality of everyone liking your shit just so you can bring your ass to YouTube and experience hate on another.
Exactly. I love it. I love it. I'm in agreement with you. Because on Instagram, you can have that perfect. I can go into the gym. I can have the light above me, have my shirt
Yeah,
off,
yeah.
have a perfect rip. You
It's
know what I mean?
personal. It's
But I'm on YouTube. Exactly. I'm on YouTube, and people are like, John, in your latest video, you look fat, man. What's going on? Like, so I gotta be like, and I'm here every day, so it's like, okay, this is the real me. Like, take it or leave it. This is me. Like, I can't hide anything here. Like, I mean, I could do a lot of clever edits, but come on, seriously, like.
YouTubers are the bravest on social media.
Yeah.
Just pussies.
Exactly. I like it. I like it. That's awesome. So guys are trying to avoid these things, and like you said, I think the sponsorship thing makes a lot of sense. I think that's a really good argument. It's like, yes, you might be able to get the result, but if you go that way, you're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel shitty. I mean, it's
first. They'll say, yeah. First you get the money, then you get the women. Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, I've got all these women after me, and it'll be like, the novelty will wear off, and then they'll be like, none of these women love me for me. Like, duh, obviously. So yeah, reality will set in, even if they go ahead with that plan. It's going to be like a sort of 1 year max honeymoon period, and then like, okay, now I need the real thing, because people do. Ultimately, men and women are looking for the same thing, which is to find a love of their life, at least, or a sequence of love of their lives, whatever. But they want to find a girlfriend or boyfriend to have that meaningful relationship with. I mean, let's take the gloves off. Let's be honest here. That's what they're both looking for. Different stage of their life, but ultimately, that is what we're looking for.
Yeah, yeah, and I think I think a lot of the ways to go around it, to try and quote cheat the system, is like you're seeking external validation, and it's like, and I like like the kind of message that you promote, that was in your book, that I've seen on your YouTube channel, of like becoming better, like becoming a better person, enhancing yourself, marketing yourself, as opposed to just trying to get the result is not the goal. You've actually got to become the thing, the man, and I think there's a lot more value in that, I found, in life, in actually becoming it, rather than just getting the result. It's like cheating is getting a cheat code is not rewarding in the long run, even if you get the result. It's the same thing, and maybe this one is a good one to ask you about too, because I get this all the time as well. What about the whole, like, guys are like, well, you know what, I can just get money. There's this whole men going their own way movement, which I understand some of it, but what's that?
Hate me, men going their own way. Is that
do they?
MGT? They hate me. They do videos, and it's so funny. I'm like, guys, you're not cleaning up. You're not going out getting laid. So, like, because they just all they do is like bitch about people. And I didn't even show their faces. That's the funny thing. They hide and they do these. I don't know who they are. I don't know who runs it. But I know a few of them hate me, which is good. I'm worried if they started liking me.
Yeah. Well,
heard of this mob.
Well, a lot of it is, I think a lot of some of the principles that they have, I agree that there's some things that are kind of messed up for men in society today, but the answer is to figure out how to solve it, not like for yourself, not to try and change society. It's not going to happen.
I know. What they promote is, not giving a fuck, and essentially there's a lot of truth in that. Like, kind of not giving. That's essentially, there is truth in it. Like, being a guy saying, I don't give a fuck about what you think about me. There is truth in that. There is something that's it's called unapologetic truth, unapologetic honesty, unapologetic vulnerability, and it's very appealing to women. The problem is, they sort of men go their own way, sort of like saying it's very like they're sort of trying to intellectualize something, but they're not actually giving guys practical step-by-step advice of how to not give a fuck. But just saying to someone, don't give a fuck, please, just don't give a fuck. The person is not going to just stop giving a fuck. It's just not. Right. Because it's like, it's so pernicious, it's so ingrained in him to give a fuck. He can't just snap out like that. The moment he starts getting results with women, he won't give a fuck anymore. And that's what I do. So I'm like, look, get results, and then genuinely don't give a fuck. But genuinely say, I can take it or leave it, that girl. Like, genuinely mean it. Not like, I can take it or leave it, but you still inside are like crying and thinking, God, I wish I could have a girl like that, because you're just lying to yourself then.
Right. It's they're angry. They're lying to themselves. I think, and then I think a lot of that is, and I think a lot of these guys also, I've gotten this a lot, and I've done videos on it. They say, well, you know what, fuck women. It's all fucked up. They don't know what a good man is, so I'm just gonna go my own way, and I'm gonna make some money, and then I'm gonna fuck prostitutes. I'm gonna pay prostitutes, and I'm like, that's not a good plan for life. Like that's not what you really want in life. But they keep on arguing that. So
I know they're fantasists. There are some guys who genuinely are happy just screwing prostitutes. I had a friend. He was like that. He was a bachelor, and he's just like he had a couple of girlfriends, but he just couldn't be bothered with the headache. He genuinely didn't give a shit. He was a bachelor. He was a strange person. He was a bit eccentric. I liked him, but he went to prostitutes a lot. That was his thing. And there's only a few guys that can genuinely live that life. Like genuinely love that life of being alone and picking up the phone, putting their credit card details over and getting a hooker for the night. And they will be happy. There is such a small, tiny minority of men that feel fulfilled that way. So they're kind of like this movement of trying to promote something which is only not acceptable. It's not the word I'm looking for, but it's only something that could be adopted and practiced with authenticity by a very small amount of people.
right.
Most guys will try it, and I helped loads of guys who went to prostitutes for a long time. And they come to me and say, I feel shit. Like, yeah, it was enjoyable, but I feel shit. I feel like I'm lying to myself with these hookers. So I think it can kind of lead to depression using escorts all the time. It can lead to depression. So the guy's like, where's my value? They know that women are just taking them for money. And it's not like doing it once or twice in their whole life. It becomes addictive and it becomes lonely, and a lonely addiction. So I think this movement, Men Go Their Own Way movement, need to be careful. I think what they're doing is they're finding a lot of negative, very frustrated men out there and telling them what they want to hear, rather than giving practical advice of how they get. Like I said, if you follow my advice, you'll get results with women. You'll play the fucking game. Stop moaning about women have got too much power and men don't. That's just reality. Women have less power in other things. But if you really genuinely start getting results, you really don't give a fuck. And
Exactly.
It's from a real place, not because gave your credit card details to a hooker.
Right.
I don't know if that's empowering, but okay.
Yeah, no, it's a victim mindset. I think that victim mindset is what appeals.
No, yeah, it's very fashionable. Everyone wants to be a victim. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I think this has been useful. I think a lot of guys will appreciate this. A lot of my audience, and I'm glad that I was able to get you to talk on the channel, and I think there will be some value here for sure. I appreciate you taking the time. But I want to talk a little bit, before we wrap up, about what you've got going on, so guys can find. Obviously your book. I've already done a review on it. I think it's really good. But
thank you very much for that. That's actually what that was the connection between you and me. I contacted you on Twitter. I tweeted to you to say thank you so much. I believe I did something like that, and that's how we got in contact. So, but yeah, that was very kind of you. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I it was good book, and I appreciate you reaching out. Actually, I do a lot of book reviews, and very 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 few times do authors reach out and say something. So that was nice as well. So, but
being nice.
Am I calling you nice?
Just the heart.
You're so nice, such a nice girl.
Yeah, you're a nice guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try. But yeah. So what do you got going on now? What is the thing? Like, I want to give you a chance to, for everyone listening, like to find where they can find out more about you. Obviously they should subscribe to your YouTube channel, buy the book. What else do you have going on?
Okay, so I run boot camps in Las Vegas. I run about four to six of those a year. I run boot camps in London also, and I run once a month in London. I have the 7-day mastery program, which runs all year, based here in London. I have DVDs, ebooks. You can find that out on my website. Something I am launching soon will be my new podcast. I'm really looking forward to that because
cool.
I've got 30 people who work for me, and they're such interesting characters, and they have a plethora of information and such great advice. And I wanted to do a live podcast, a bit like this interview that we're doing here, where it's not all rushed and here's 3 tips and here's 2 tips. And it's something where all that wisdom can just come pouring out, in the space of 1 hour. So yeah, that's things to look out for. I would say anyone that just wants to start to look at my ebook, which I'm going to send you a copy of, by the way.
Okay, perfect.
Called How to Make Her Want You. It does what it says in the tin. It's only in ebook format, not in paperback. I think that any guy that reads that will just improve dramatically just by reading that book alone, because it's very honest and it covers everything from getting out friend zone, not getting in the friend zone, 7 qualities every woman's looking for, and how you can convey those in a way that's congruent with your personality. So much. I mean, it's just chapters and chapters. I don't even know how many chapters, like hundreds of chapters. A big
Okay.
So yeah, and check out my website, kezia-noble.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for the time. And guys, check it out. Go check out her stuff. She's, I really like her honest, refreshing approach. I think that, if you've seen some of the other stuff out there, that you'll find, Kezia's stuff to be very different in the fact that it is very brutally honest and practical, pragmatic. That works. So one last tip before we go here. Give me your tip. A tip for today, whatever you could think of today for the guys out there that are struggling,
Got to give me an area. I mean,
let's
okay.
say with approach. I think approach is probably the one that I think most of the guys that I talk to struggle with.
Okay, last tip. So you've got indirect approach and direct approach. So indirect approach, for guys who don't know, it's when you sort of go into an approach with a situational observation, like, the DJ is really good tonight, or it's cold today. Something which is not showing your intent, and direct approach is showing your intent. Going up to a girl, telling her how you feel, and then proceeding with a conversation. So with direct, this is what my tip's going to be. So with a direct approach, never begin, and guys always make this mistake with, this is really weird, but I wanted to come up to you and say something, or I bet you get this all the time, or I was standing over there watching you.
Right. That's a bad, yeah.
It's really easy to make those mistakes, but
yeah.
What you need to do is come from a place of abundancy, and you can't ever come from a place of neediness or uncertainty. Right. So when you go, this is really weird, it's like, great, smart move. You've just sort of reinforced the idea that, yes, it is fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you like, get a life. And I've been watching you. Or the other one, which was, I bet you get this all the time. Like, stop putting her,
Yeah.
So go in there and say, this is so random. That's your opening line. This is so random, but I had to come over and say, you're beautiful. I mean, fuck, you look like Pocahontas. You could say something really crazy. You can do whatever you like with that opener, but the first one is, this is so random, I just had to come over and say, and then you give her like a really, really cool compliment. You can just say, if you can't think of anything, I just think you're actually stunning. But the main thing is, this is so random. And then I use things such as of course, time constraint and a few other little. I'm not going to give them all away because I'm doing a YouTube video about this soon, about the whole sequence that I have for a direct approach. But the first thing is, this is so random. Okay, that's right. A very cool opener, very good opening line to start off with.
Okay, I like that, because it's not, all the other things were apologetic. They're like I'm already apologizing.
This is so random, gives a feeling, it's it's fatalistic. It's like, this is meant to be kind of thing. But I've tested out this stuff. This is what people don't realize. Like, I've been doing this for over a decade, and I've tested out, and I found out what works, what doesn't work, and that line, we just seem to get much better results when they start off with, this is so random, but that's my tip, guys.
All right. I like it. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you again. And,
me.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.